Alright, so this one is a deck that we played last season a good bit. I liked a lot of what it was doing. This deck actually has a number of cards from the new set in it that we're trying out in different ways. Starting from the left, we have Paradise Druid. I like this better than Incubation Druid in these 3-color decks because Paradise Druid, unlike Incubation Druid, is actual fixing because it makes mana of any color. So basically, if we only have like green-white lands, this can make blue mana. If we only have blue-green lands, it can make white mana, etc. Whereas Incubation Druid only makes second colors. We also have a couple copies of Neoform here to kind of give us a one-shot Vannifar-esque effect when we don't have Vannifar out. This card is also extra virtual copies of Vannifar because we can turn something like Jadelight into Vannifar out of the deck, which is actually one of the reasons why we're only playing 3 of her. This way we have to draw multiple redundant legends less often, but we still have lots of access to her. Where are some other good ones? Spark Double and Elite Guardmage, both sweet cards to include in our package. Vivien seems neat. One of the things that is good about, that it can be tough about Vannifar is getting to activate her. Usually she's a kill on sight. So Vivien makes her instant speed so we can like end step Vannifar and untap and use her right away, which is excellent. We have a God-Eternal Oketra here as a difficult to answer threat that also our deck's full of creatures, so she's going to pump out a lot of 4/4s. And then finally, we have a couple of Finale of Devastation up here as something to kind of end the game when we flood out, as well as provide different utility with our variety of creatures and recover nice threats from our discard pile, because notably, this card pulls threats from your graveyard or your library. This deck is also a Bant deck, which means we do have access to things like 3 mana Teferi out of the sideboard for helping the Reclamation matchup. There is definitely a possibility that there's enough Reclamation in this format that I would prefer to put some of those Teferis in the main. But I've elected to start with them in the sideboard just to see how it feels to begin with. This hand is incredibly awkward. I think I have to mulligan this on the draw. Like, I often refer to hands like this with all these tap plans are, we would go third if we kept this hand, because, like, not only are we going second, but all of our lands enter tapped, and I notably don't have any 1 or 2 mana plays, so I'm not going to play a spell till turn 3 with this, unless I'm a little bit lucky. This hand is much better. Are you still on the fence about the God-Eternal? I know you made a comment a while back that you were skeptical about the card. I don't know. That's why I'm playing games with it. In general, I tend to try and reserve strong judgment on things until I have experience with them. Magic is such a nuanced game that has so many variables in it that, like, making assumptions about cards that you don't have experience with often leaves you ending up looking like a fool. Yeah, it sounds great. It is definitely, in fact, past my bedtime. In fact, when it rolls past 11 o'clock, it will officially be the latest I have stayed up in a very long time. My wife understands my line of work, though. So, well as anyone can understand my line of work, I guess. And she told me to run as late as I wanted to this evening, and that she would let me sleep in the morning. So, we're gonna go till at least midnight. If I'm still feeling okay when midnight rolls around and we still have a good audience, we might do one more deck. This only copies my stuff, right? Yeah. Hey, Craig, thanks for the biddies. I appreciate it. I think think I'm taking the no block here. I was really hoping this would draw us a land last turn. Ooh, we just drew the Prime Speaker naturally. Sweet. The old Barfnarkle coming in with the Twitch Prime sub. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. This is a card that I am... Hey, thanks, Greg. This is a card that I am not sure if it's good enough for Standard. So, like, in Modern, or places where you play cards like this, you have such incredibly powerful threats that they're worth 2 cards worth of threat, basically. But in Standard, your cards tend to be a little bit closer in power level on average. So I'm not certain that this is a card that's worth playing. What sleeves do I use for my shuffling deck? I use the BCW Elite Guard 2s. They're one of my wonderful stream sponsors, and Lord, do they take a beating. Alright, so I just get Conclave Cavalier here. Do I get the Elite Guardmage? I haven't made a land drop yet this turn, right? Yeah, I'm going to get this. If they want to shoot this out of the sky with Vivien, more power to them. Then I'm going to go ahead and Spark Double and copy Prime Speaker here. Notably, because Spark Double enters with a 1/1 counter, this does not die to Finality, which is a good for us. The BCW Elite Guard 2s are a good price too. Been a while since I plugged that aspect of it. They're only $8 for 100 sleeves. Deal.
Can't help. Not dead yet.
I only have one deck on my desk. My trusty green-red madness deck. That's incredibly rude. How high do I rate Spark Double? I have no idea if this card is good or not. We're playing games to try and find out. Do I want to just, like, go get a Jadelight Ranger? I guess I could do this into Jadelight Ranger. That's probably the play. A Deputy of Detention 2, but that doesn't seem particularly good. Because if I take one of these, then they kill it, they get their stuff back. I guess I could take Deputy of Detention here, and that kills their Hydroid Krasis. That's probably fine. Because once I pod this away, the Krasis will come back as a 0/0, which is good. I guess I could have neoformed that into something better. I still can. Alright, let's do that. No, there's no combo in Standard, Seth. Strictly a mid-range deck. Which is, again, one of the reasons why I'm not convinced that Neoform is good enough. Because, like, I basically spent 2 cards to get this into play. Like, I sacrificed a creature and I spent Neoform. I think that's probably not quite good enough. We'll see, though.
Truth lies beyond vision.
Oketra's a little bit awkward here. Because she makes 4/4s, which means they all die to, Finality, which sucks. We have a Vraska's Contempt here. Yeah, the Neoform could be another Planeswalker. For sure. think I want to do this. We do not have Cure in this deck. We don't have that many creatures with 4+ power. And I think her just untapping isn't very good. I think her text is only reasonable when I guess this lets them draw a card too here, which sucks. Like if this card underneath this is good, they get to draw it. Now the question is, do I want to Krasis for 4 or Finale for Vivien or Vannifar? I think I want a Finale for Vannifar. Yeah, that's very true, Persip. Kiora is likely good in Temur Vannifar because she's good with Phoenix and Hellkite. Yeah. Yeah, Phoenix is absurd in that deck. I agree with that. I don't know that I really need more utility. Like, I feel like I have a lot of good utility at a lot of spots on the curve. I guess I know they're drawing this. At least this, playing her, draws attention away from my 5/5. Yeah, we're pretty dead here. We're just not going to keep up with their Planeswalkers. We have an Oketra. Oh, Oketra as okay, that's interesting, I guess. So, like, they have Planeswalkers I care about here, but, like, they also have lots of ways to kill enchantments, so I don't think Prison Realm is good enough in this matchup. And Ugin sounds fine. Baffling End's probably fine. Neoform does not seem good. I'm going to trim it. I think we're probably going to cut it after this matchup. I'm going to cut these Angels because they're not very good. They just get shot down by Vivien. Disdainful Stroke could be okay here. Bonito Panga, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Hey, appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Rest of this seems reasonable. Maybe Disdainful Stroke could be okay. The problem with Disdainful Stroke is that, like, it's mostly here for Reclamation. This deck has a hard time. This deck is tapping out a lot, basically. So, like, holding up 2 mana to stroke their meaningful play is, like, not likely to come up because we're probably going to have all of our mana spent. Although, I guess Vivien, little Vivien, could change that dynamic a little bit because she lets us play at instant speed. Oh, I like that idea, E-Teach War. Bo sounds super reasonable. Turn 2 Vivien, sign me up. I like the idea of Bo a lot. Bo makes counter spells better post-board too. I'm also not 100% sold on Finale, but at least Finale doesn't require us to 2-for-1 ourselves, so I think I'm willing to test that one a little bit more. Paying plus 2 mana is just kind of an expensive premium.
Would you like to see what's left of us?
Hit me, dealer.
I've seen puppies whine less than you.
Llanowar, is LOW Llanowar Elves? If so, yes. Ooh, oh, there's not a Plains in my deck, is there? That's sad. I was like, oh, we can turn 3 Oketra. I'm missing white mana. Although this will make white mana next turn. Hey, look, my Llanowar Elves did a thing. Oketra's looking sweet here. This game was kind of a textbook example of why you don't want to Assassin's Trophy your opponent when you're on the draw. I agree. I think there's a good chance this card's just too clunky. But I've been wrong about cards like that before, so I think it's worth playing with. I think the floor on it is still relatively high. There's also the flip side of, like, if I do cut the Neoforms and the Finales, like, one of those slots is just the 4th Vannifar. So, like, playing a Finale over the 4th Vannifar is probably not unreasonable. No, I don't think so, Halfwing C. So, Grazer is a fine card, but our deck only has 23 lands in it. I think you need more lands than that to consistently work with Grazer. Elf is a mana source on its own. Grazer is only a mana source with something else. And another thing you're doing there is you're making a change to try and maximize Vannifar. Vannifar is a card that's always good, basically, when you're activating it. So you don't want to play cards that are, like, slightly worse generically, but better when you're activating Vannifar. You're basically doing that, like, takes your best cards and makes them better. I'm going to Game Bully keep this on the draw. It's real good if we had a green source. Yeah, I think Caleb being off tonight is helping with the viewer count. I was planning on streaming tonight regardless, but I saw last night he said he was taking off, and I was like, oh, that's good for me. We might get punished here. Okie dokie, Artichoke, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, that's the thing that's keeping me wanting to try Finale MK, is the fact that it takes things from the graveyard is a big deal. I mean, if we were really lucky, we would have hit it on 1, right? Old boy Merlin, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. So this guy just lost a game, 2 games trying to catch Chart Course while I had Darset out. God bless. Alright, that gives me 2 slots. Do I just put Defree in the main? Because screw Reclamation. That gives me sideboard slots. I don't think this deck has enough 4-power creatures for Cure to be good enough. I'm going to just throw a 3rd Teferi in the sideboard. Just because Reclamation's miserable. Do I want Arkbow? I don't know. I kind of want Teferi. I guess Arkbow's good. We did talk about Arkbow. Alright. Back to the sideboard, Teferi. I don't think I really need Knight of Autumn in the main. I have Deputy of Detention for Enchantment Hate, and I have Lyra for main deck life gain, as well as the 4-drop that gains 3 life and draws a card. Night Guard or whatever it's called. Jadelight Ranger represents, like, actual card advantage, which is a big deal. Speaking of red, hopefully they're playing red, because we're going to go this into turn 3 Lyra. smells Esper Man. Yep. Maybe Snap Bolt Snap. Believe it or not, there is a world where your opponent doesn't have everything all the time. And sometimes things work out for you. Well, that's a curve. Hey, look at that. Basic Island. You know what that card doesn't cast? That card doesn't cast Kaya's Wrath. Welcome to Thunderdome. What is going on with this Carnage Tyrant here? He's very red and angry, chat. He is super pissed that we were playing against Esper Control. How's that Kaya's Wrath treating you this time of year? Up to 16. Real decks have curves, chat. Real decks have curves. What a satisfying series of smash sounds, right? I agree. All right, I need 2 more cuts here. I'm down to 25 creatures right now. So I probably want to cut a non-creature, huh? What's my worst non-creature? Because I don't want to go too much lower on creature spells. Because then my Vivien downtick becomes a lot worse. Is it just Finale? Is that the one I have to get rid of? I guess Ugin's not necessary. Then 1 Finale is probably the last one. Maybe I don't want all 3 Tefris. He does stop them from counterspelling me, though. Which is nice, and he draws a card. I think it's Finale or Tefri. I think I want to keep the Finales, because this fishes Carnage Tyrant out of my graveyard after they Kaya's Wrath it. I think if there's a matchup where I want Finale, this is it. So I want to see how the 2 of them feel here. Hey, little Tefri plus Finale of Devastation is almost like build your own Court of Calling. Which, if you've watched this stream for long enough, you know that that's kind of my kink. Court of Calling. Will we hit 8 mana to finish Carnage Tyrant? Sure. Games are probably going to go long halfway. Tef plus Finale is all I want to do at standard rate. Wow. Does it taste like chicken, opponent? Did my Llanowar Elves taste like chicken? That one can stay there. Rude. gonna cast Divination. Your move, Yugi boy. Ah, Esper and Mistland drops. Tastes like home. Listen. He's lost, but he's trying to figure his stuff out, okay? Don't you judge him. You judge my flibble up.
You show remorse. I'll show. Here we go.
Look at how many cards he draws. He's a good dude. To hold up this negate. That definitely like drew 2 cards and 8 of Vraska's Contempt, right? He was great. Yeah, I think there's a real possibility just like every blue-white deck should just have Teferi's in the main. Wow. Sitting here on this negate like a big jerk. That feels bad. Land. Land. Perfect. Alright, so let's Oketra into Branchwalker. Trigger. Because if they cast Kaya's Wrath next turn, I get my Prime Speaker back. So come at me, bro. I guess they could have a Lyra in their deck, huh? That's a card they could realistically have. And then Baby Tef showed up. Yeah, coffee's for closers, and Oketra's getting herself a cup of joe. And they know about both these negates. They're basically just screwed. Oh, you know what? I should have killed their hostage taker instead of the Vannifar, because I could have bounced the Vannifar back to my hand. I don't think it really matters.
I know my responsibility. I'll protect you.
I guess I could have run back the bounce and replay Fblthp line, and it would have made a 4/4. That's probably the line. I don't think it matters. All roads are heading in the direction of Esper Mistland drops. Moving on up. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I might need to go be a parent. I'll be right back. false alarm. He's asleep. God bless you, little Merfolk Branchwalker. So, by the end of last season, we had actually pulled the Rhythm of the Wilds out of the Temur Vannifar deck in favor of Domri. And I don't know. I feel like the Temur build is probably still a little bit better. That was definitely my preferred configuration last season. Green mana. I like that the Temur build gets to leverage the new Kiora better, because new Kiora is like really good with like Scrag and Hellkite and Rekindling Phoenix, which is sweet. Yikes. I wonder if I'm supposed to like spark double the Branchwalker. Like try and hit a green source. I can see that. Sure. There's also a good chance like whatever we cast there is getting countered, right? What's going on, Kaloon guy? Probably still has counter magic up. Definitely jamming Jadelight Ranger though. Okay, pleasant surprise. That one can stay right there. Yeah, if you spark double, you get enter the battlefield triggers. Reading of Vivien. Spark double and other clone style effects are what we refer to as a replacement effect as the card enters the battlefield. So when you're picking what this card is copying, it's technically in this weird position somewhere in between the stack after it's resolved and entering play. So you're picking what it's going to be before that happens. Oh, there's definitely a child, right? Is it the other one? There's only one child sleeping down here. Jacob?
Not again.
Alright, there's definitely a child. I'll be right back.
This isn't a fight you can win. I've got it.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry, what did we miss? They did the thing?
Not so much.
Are they dead? Not yet. Alright.
There is wonder in a blade of grass.
So apparently, when Christy went to bed, she left Jake watching TV. And he's 5, so he's like fine, but it's late for him too, and the TV had stopped playing Shaun the Sheep, which was a big deal because, well, Shaun is the best sheep ever. I guess maybe I should have done this on my turn to hit my land. And he's like, he knows the basics of working the smart TV, but not 100%. Oh, we're going to get rid of all of those. Double up, Buttercup. I choose you, Pikachu. Bye, Felicia. Get him. Well, at least we know how to sideboard. Hey, SP Joe, thanks for the 6 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed. So the last match, I actually cut all of the deputies, but this Esper Control player is playing, what's it called? They're playing this finale card, so I'm going to leave one deputy in here. Because that seems good. Need to cut one more card. I think I'm going to go ahead and trim a Vivien and trim a Paradise Druid. That sounds reasonable. Well, I probably don't want to trim this when I'm boarding in a bunch of blue cards. I'm going to trim an elf, actually. Let's do that. It's 5 a.m. for me. I shouldn't be up. Remember, if you ever miss anything that I'm streaming, everything gets archived to my YouTube channel. It also gets broken up in my Twitch pod, so lots of places to catch back up after the fact that's well organized, including my website, magicesports.net. Yeah, Green Finale seems reasonable. I think the fact that Green Finale picks things back up out of our discard pile puts it up over the top of playable. It's a good level of flexibility on a card like that. A study excuse. All-nighters. I remember being young. And mostly, I mean, I remember my life before children. Although Jake is still up watching TV, so that means he might sleep in the morning too. That would be great. I think I just want all my Jadelights against Esper. Aren't I relatively young? I've been old and angry for a very long time. Is Jake a 5 a.m. waker? I was old and angry in middle school. No, it's the same website, Corks. It's just 4 words. One of my subs bought the domain name magicesports.net because Wizards didn't own that domain name for some reason. So they bought it and forwarded it to my website because it's hilarious. This is my 4-3.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
Declan o'clock is usually sometime between 5:30 and 6:30 a.m. Oh, don't need that one. I love that command. It's so good. Oops, my liability is showing. I want to get draw step thought erasure. Nope, thank goodness. Are they gonna kill this though? Scale of 1 to dead. In. Go, Gadget Jadelight. Do.
That's more like it.
Do. They wanted to leave up instant speed Kayas. Yeah, I could see that. I'm gonna attack for 3.
I'm getting too old for this.
getting too old for this. I know what you mean, Teferi. You embody how I feel. They don't know. Like, I could play this, put this out into play tap, but like, my health total doesn't. No, liability is a direct quote. Jimmy the kudos. The exact line was, the feedback I provide makes me a liability to work with. To be specific. Pretty much all of the things you hear here that sound really absurd that no company could possibly say or do it. It's true about Wizards of the Coast. I mean, a Wizards of the Coast representative said that to me. Like, obviously, Wizards of the Coast isn't a person. No, not like I break NDAs. Like, I say things on stream or on Twitter that, like, aren't all feel-goods. Watsy is a person who looks like Urza in my head. Alright, fair. Alright, let's not tap all my green sources, Magic Arena. Thanks. I want to see if this resolves before I declare attacks, because if this resolves, I want to make a token, and if it doesn't resolve, I want to attack with my 1/1. Yeah, Zombie, so the difference between a pro player and me that I think a lot of people miss is, like, the people that they work with who are pro players, those people have an objective metric that they clear, right? So, like, if Wizards of the Coast was like, okay, we're going to work with all the biggest Magic streamers based on viewer count or sub count, that would include me because that's an objective metric. However, like, the professional players, they're just by definition objective metric to be a professional player, right? Like, you obtain a certain number of points. So even if there's people who on there that rub Wizards the wrong way, they've cleared this metric. So unless they're doing something that's like borderline criminal or illegal or whatever, that they're going to pull them out for another reason, they're not going to, like, pull them out for just, like, saying things that they don't like, because they've earned their spot. Anything related to streaming is by no means objective. There's no line in the sand that, like, you get past this point and you're in. Like, it doesn't work that way with the influencer culture and the way things surrounding Twitch work. Spark Double is only we control, sadly. That card would be absurd if it could copy anybody's Planeswalkers. It'd be very, very good. It's, like, fine as it is now. It would be absurd if it could copy their stuff. Well, I mean, like, and that's what I mean, B-Mech, is, like, Wizards of the Coast didn't choose the MPL. Like, Wizards of the Coast got who they got with the MPL based on taking the top 32 players. It's not like they handpicked those people. All the people that are or were in the MPL are people who had earned a spot there based on a line that was drawn in the sand that they then cleared. But if it could only copy other people's stuff, that's an interesting line. Then it would probably be a sideboard card. You can copy their stuff if you steal it first. Yeah, and Grath and Spark Double working the old 1-2 punch. This hand, it's a blue source. It's pretty good. No gamble, no future. That's true. They earned their spot. Some of them earned their spot. Some of them earned their spot. I mean, like, to be fair, BMEC, I'd bet dollars. I haven't seen an MPL contract, but I'd bet dollars to donuts that they don't qualify as employees of Wizards of the Coast. It's probably similar to like what I do with Twitch, where it's contract work. Although maybe they're paying them enough from one company that that's not the case. Maybe there's probably labor laws actually that prevent that. They probably do technically employ those people. All right, we've stumbled and died. Let's try again. That was the freebie, right? We just climbed into Plat 3, so that was the freebie. There is a chance that they're contractors. That's true. What employee has those anymore? That's true. That's very true. That's actually true. The fact that they're all over the world probably means they're not. What's with the late night stream? I frequently do weekend streams at random times. And by frequently, I mean definitely during set release time. When there's big tournaments going on, like the Open this weekend, I prefer to not do my stream against the Open, because it splits the viewer count. So like, for instance, the first couple hours of my streams overlapped the end of the Open, and we barely hit 1,600 people then, and we've had like 2,000 plus past then. I think this is a mulligan in the dark. It's just too slow, right? I feel like no plays till turn. Till turn 3 is kind of medium. This hand lacks a green source on 1. It's reasonable otherwise. Well, the other thing too is, I'd assume it depends on like what considers someone an employee. Like, is the amount of money they're paying them make them considered an employee, or is it hours worked? So like, one of the MPL players I think mentioned that like their streaming contracts only required them to stream like 10 hours a week or something like that. So that's like hardly considered a full-time job, right? Even if they're paying them money, that could be considered a full-time job. Teamer Reclamation. I think I'd rather get this countered than get this countered. That's the question, right? Like, which of these do I care more about? I run the one I care less about out first. The problem with Neoform Override, we actually started with a copy of that card in our deck, is the cards in Standard that you're turning your other cards into are not powerful enough that it's worth spending 2 cards to get that effect. So basically, spending Neoform plus a creature to turn into a slightly better creature puts you behind ultimately in the exchange. Like, the rate of what you're getting basically isn't very good. You're investing 2 cards to get something out of it that's not worth 2 cards. The opponent's deck is a good example of why Wilderness Reclamation's actually the busted card and not and not Nexus of Fate, because the opponent's deck often doesn't even play Wilderness Reclamation, or doesn't usually play Nexus of Fate, but is still just very, very good because it's able to leverage the absurd mana that Reclamation generates, and it's still incredibly difficult to interact with. Yeah, I don't think it does, or Zamil. Like, Neoform could be good in a setting where you have powerful toolbox stuff, but Standard's just not a format where powerful cards allow you to toolbox in a meaningful way, basically. Was it not worth Arkbowing for 4 there? I don't think so. I think I'd rather pressure their Planeswalker off the table. I think I'd rather play this and hit their Planeswalker for 3. Yeah, that's true too. It's not like Eldritch Evolution where you get a variety of things. We get like X+1 or less. It has to be exactly X+1, right? It's like Birthing Pod used to be. So it's even less flexible than Eldritch Evolution, which barely saw play in Standard. I'm going to attack this with 2 things here. This is the part where we get fire recanninated and die. Am I doing a 24-hour stream? I am not. I've been live for approximately 7 hours. This is going to be my last deck of the evening, I believe. Shame, MTG. Thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Do I want to cast this and just guaranteed get Vannifar? I think I do. I only have 2 mana up here. That was Anaronix, Chalky. He should be in the subs Discord.
Storms are like a symphony, and I am a great conductor.
Yeah, Finale's felt okay so far. I feel like Vivien tends to come up short in these decks that aren't playing Frilled Mystic. Like, I get that her card advantage is nice, but, like, she's not really doing anything meaningful, basically. Other than impulsing. And, like, if we're only impulsing with her 5 mana, Vivien's probably better. Evening, Hammy. Sweet. So that guarantees an Arkbow hit at the end of their turn. Scale of 1 to dead. Where's this rail at? Pause for reflection. So my opponent's on more than 4 fogs. Vomit. So I'm dead to Expansion Explosion here. Oh, and they are playing Nexus of Fate too. How many times am I going to chart a course into an opponent's Narset? Fun fact, Blunderbra. Someone earlier came in here and mentioned that they had an opponent concede after casting chart a course into Narset. That's really funny. It's just, it is in fact a small world after all. I don't think I want this card post board. Like, grinding's not really what this matchup is about. Just want to get them dead ASAP. Let's give this a try. I don't know how I feel about this Bant build. I think I prefer Teamer. Rekindling Phoenix is really sweet. Not only with Vannifar, but it's also just like a good card in general. 4 mana Domri is also great. And the new Kiora sounds super appealing. New 3 mana Domri could also potentially be very good. It's like making your dorks a little bit bigger and fight stuff down. The new Domri would probably help us be a little bit aggressive when we don't have our Vannifar going. Like close the game out and stuff. Probably finish up this match, then play one more this evening with this. I am going to take all of tomorrow off. But I will be live on Monday for a long segment like usual. I have not updated the team list yet, Gorks. I agree, AJ Crane. You will not find many folks that disagree with that here. Alright, look at that. Good solid curve here. Yeah, I'll just do this. I could be like cheeky and like play the Teferi and bounce it, like make them replay it, but might as well get pressure into play. Yeah, I agree with that to a degree, Swift. The 3 mana Viviens in this deck feel like they kind of took that spot of Militia Bugler, and I'm not sure that it's like really worth being in white with this deck if we're not leveraging Militia Bugler. They lost SCG Tour, dropped more viewers showing Reclamation than they did cutting to commercials. Ginja Ninja with the 3 months of Prime. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm just electing not to play a spell here because I don't want to play into a Sinister Sabotage, and I can just activate Arkbow at their end of turn. Man, I really want to play Arkbow in a... Frilled Mystic deck. That sounds incredibly sweet. Maybe I should keep the elf there in case I hit Pod Mom. Yeah, I should probably keep the elf there. I guess I can just bow right now. Yes, Paper Nexus is much worse than Online Nexus. Because remember, every time Nexus goes back into the deck, you have to shuffle and cut. It is rancid. Maybe I should have kept that elf again because of her. I don't know, I kind of wanted to ditch it to try and hit a land so I can feed the Arkbow more. Yeah, this interaction is sweet. These two cards together. Just this card in general in a reasonable deck is kind of awesome. BBD said he faced Nexus 6 out of 7 rounds in SCG. Well, and he was playing Esper Hero, right? So how did he do? What was his record in 7 matches with that deck? I know he was 7-1. Okay. I know his loss was definitely Nexus. Because it was one of my buddies beat him playing Nexus. I'm actually just going to go ahead and play this since I have a negate. He's Bob and Cheese in chat, Big Mom Emmercool.
Right on schedule.
Just gonna go ahead and draw a card here. Attack for 2.
Might be a bad idea.
He turns off all their counter spells from here on out, so let's do it. I believe I boarded out the rest of my 5-drops because they're kind of slow. That's fine. Joke's on you. Arkbow's better than Podmom here anyways. Which, Arkbow being better than Podmom, I almost feel like that might be the norm in Standard. Like, I kind of want to build just a Bant Arkbow deck with, like, Teferi in it. Can we just, like, build Arkbow Teferi deck with Frilled Mystics and stuff? Could that be okay?
Let's see if you're worthy. Strike now. Strike hard.
Trust me, I have a plan.
I'm going to hold on to this land for now because it turns into a creature potentially with the Arkbow. I'm not playing the Jadelight Ranger because Jadelight Ranger is instant speed currently. And she's wonderful. We could even play a couple Finale in this Bant deck with Arkbow because Teferi makes Finale instant speed, so you could Finale at instant speed for Frilled Mystic. Finale at instant speed for Frilled Mystic is kind of everything I want to do in life, I think. Yeah, Oketra plus Arkbow seems sweet. And that's something we had actually, that's something we'd actually talked about. Arkbow with the red god. I hadn't thought about Arkbow with the white god. Yeah, I'll probably put something together tomorrow, Gorks.
Starting over's the only way.
That's more like it.
Tonight, I'm going to, so I think we're going to play one more match after this one, and then I have like an hour of work to do after I finish this match, so everything can make it onto YouTube, and I'm going to pass out for a while. Well, you know, that really made me want to leave Carnage Tyrant in my deck. I think I'm going to leave God-Eternal Oketra in too. What do I actually want to cut here? Spark Double seems fine. I'm going to cut these Merfolk Branchwalkers. How long have I been streaming? Like, concurrently right now, I've been live for almost 8 hours. In general, my account is 7 years old. I've been partnered for almost 5 years. Almost 4 years, sorry. Tried out some Ral Finale combo in a kind of blue-red Drake shell, and it seemed good. Yeah, I think that seems really good. Is it a builder on if I pay $10 to put this Bant deck in the queue? Sure. Because it's a deck I would really like to build. This is just too slow, right? Wanna be Kurt, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Essence great. Turn 2 Teferi, sign me up. Been crushing through Latter Day with that Jeskai Saheeli deck you played 2 days ago. That deck is a lot of fun with Karn plus Saheeli feels absurd. Awesome. Do you think that's one I should add to my website then, Redagast? It felt good when we played it. I'm going to send a note to my buddy right now. What are Radagast? You were my pick 3 cards. What 3 cards should go on the banner? What 3 Magic the Gathering cards from that deck would go on a banner? Wow, they brought in Negate against my creature deck. That's rude. Karn, Saheeli, Ugin. In. Ding, ding, ding.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
Rogue Gods, thank you for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Oh no, that kills my Teferi.
Or, you ever wonder why hurricanes don't have 2 eyes?
I'll get that. Get that added to my site tomorrow. Oh, they didn't play a spell yet. That makes sense. It's like, why didn't this die? They didn't play a spell yet. I think I'm just going to play this as a 4-3 and wait to start Arkbowing next turn.
Storms are like a symphony, and I am a great conductor.
Alright, well this stops them from doing anything more with this right now, which is nice. That's a Deputy of Detention. I just Deputy their Ral? Yeah, I think so.
Don't worry, I got this.
Alright, so do I attack for 1 more?
I'm shocked.
Or do I Arkbow for 3 and potentially miss? I think I just attack for 1 more. I just attack for 1 more. One of the sweet things about Arkbow, if we wanted to build a deck based around Arkbow, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, Swift. Arkbow's a legendary you could easily play 3 or 4 of because it has the Liliana rule where the extra copies of Arkbow, like, discard to your first Arkbow, which is great.
I've got time.
Could you imagine if we had, like, Frilled Mystics in our deck to hit right now? That would be absurd. I guess I could have just played this to put them guaranteed dead on board. Maybe that's better, because their only sweeper deals 2 damage, right? I think specifically it includes at least a few copies of Gods JVL, because like the Gods play really well with the Arkbow. That's Arkbow fodder. Is there they did? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. I thought I was going to play 1 more with this, but I think I'm actually going to call it a night. I'm starting to drag a little bit, and I've got probably an hour's worth of work that I have to do to get everything uploaded. My takeaway on this is that I kind of like the Bant stuff we were doing, but I don't know that I was a fan of Prime Speaker in this shell. I think if I wanted to play Prime Speaker in this format, I would focus more on the Teamer shell, similar to what we did last season. I also think that if I really wanted to play Bant Vannifar, like I really liked white cards and wanted to play Vannifar with her, I think I wouldn't play this Vivien in this Finale of Devastation, and I would focus on the Militia Bugler build that we played last season still. That card's very, very good. You think WotC made 3 mana Tef specifically to control Reclamation decks? Very likely. I tried Finale of Promise when my opponent had mini Tef. Was not satisfactory. Probably not. Thanks everyone for watching. As always, remember, if you're a new viewer, I appreciate you dropping in. I hope you followed the stream if you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out my website and my YouTube channel for lots of great extra videos from me streaming here on Twitch and all that. I cut everything up by deck so you can find just the stuff that you care about. I'm taking tomorrow, Sunday, off. I'm going to be doing some offline work, but I won't be live. I'll be live all day on Monday, as I often am. I start about 8 a.m. Central Standard Time We'll do a Magic Online League to start. We'll start with more awesome standard decks on Arena about 9:30 or so. So everybody have a good evening. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And shout out as always to my subs and resubs. I wouldn't be here without your support. So thanks for keeping me around.